Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Debbie from the Inspiration Station. Today I have another process video for Ginger's Corner Budget Challenge Game. This is the second one that I'm doing. We were asked to do 3 videos, 3 layouts using Ginger's shopping list. If you didn't see my previous video, I'll go over very quickly. Ginger put together a list of supplies, and each supply, each tool had a dollar value, well, a cent value, let's put it that way. And we were given a budget of $2.50 per page to come up with a layout. It didn't sound that difficult at first until I got the shopping list and realized that we were going to have to include our trimmer, our scissors, our adhesive, our foam, our cardstock, all those basics. So my first video, I ended up using an embossing folder, and I had to use my Big Shot to use that, so I had to pay for the machine. So I managed to get in, I think the last one was $2.45. Today, if all goes according to plan, I should come in at $2.15. We shall see. So 2 of the items that we get for free are our background paper. So I will be using white cardstock for that, and our photos. And this is the photo that I'll be using, which is my beautiful granddaughter. And I am going to need another sheet of white cardstock. So the first one, the background, I don't have to account for, but the second one I do. And this is actually not a full sheet, but it'll be fine. That's all I need. So I had to get creative and figure out how I was going to do this page. And pattern paper on the shopping list is 40 cents per sheet. Obviously that adds up quickly if you only have $2.50 to spend. So I started thinking, and I decided that if I chose a piece of paper that had multiple patterns on it, or multiple colors, I could cut this into smaller pieces and use all these colors. So instead of only having one solid piece of paper, I'm actually going to have 6, 7 colors. I may not use the 2 at the bottom. I'm not sure yet. I think that might be a little too much, what I have planned. This might be too dark, but we'll see. Either way, I'm only getting charged for 1 sheet of pattern paper, which is 40 cents. So I like that idea. I do have to have a title, and I'm going to, this is Paige Evans, by the way. It was from her, oh gosh, what was the name of the collection? Garden Shop, maybe? Anyway, does it say on here? No, it does not. It just says Best Today. But anyway, it's a Paige Evans collection. So I am going to use my title from here. I'm not sure whether it'll be the So Happy, Happiness Here, the Smile, or Hello. I'm leaning towards Hello because I think the colors will work better with what I have planned for embellishments. And this is another spot I had to be creative. What I did was I went to my stash and I started finding some things, and I remembered that I have this washi tape from Pink Fresh. Now, washi tape is 25 cents. This is one washi tape, guys. I'm only paying 25 cents. But look at all the embellishments that are on here. And what I'll end up doing, actually I've already done, but I'll show you here, is you put the washi tape down onto white cardstock, and then you cut it out. Now, some of them, well, actually all of them had dies to cut them out, but unfortunately, by the time I bought this washi tape, the dies were sold out. So I have to hand cut those. So then I have to pay for my scissors, because I'll be using the trimmer for the pattern paper, but I need scissors to fussy cut these. So scissors, another 20 cents. I do plan on popping these up with foam adhesive. Foam is 25 cents. Now, everything that I have on my list, my adhesive tape, my foam, my trimmer, my scissors, piece of pattern paper, a sheet of white cardstock, because I will be using this cardstock also to map my photo on, so I'll have enough room to do that. What else? Cardstock, the sentiment, the phrase sentiment, that's going to be that foam title that I use, and then the washi. That brings me to $2.15. I left myself a little bit of leeway because I may want to use some enamel dots when I get to it. Now here's the question. Enamel dots are shown on my list. If I can find my list. Enamel dots are 25 cents. Is that 25 cents per color? Or the way I'm going to interpret it is 25 cents per package. That way I can use any of these colors. It may be cheating, I'm not sure. But either way, if I may not even end up using them, but I want to have that built-in cushion. So I am going to get my trimmer and start cutting this up. I'm going to trim out these. I'm not going to make you watch that. I will bring the trimmer in and cut the paper because I do have an idea of how I want to lay this out. So I'll be right back. To get started, I am using a sketch as my inspiration. I'm not sure where this sketch came from. It was recent. I really wish I knew. I don't think it's Allison Davis because the style of the title here doesn't look like her work, but it could be. It could also be Page Maps, although I don't think so. If I can find out who made this sketch, I will link it in the comments below. But right now I'm not sure who that is, so I apologize. I can't give credit for who it was. But this was my inspiration. And looking at the photo, or the sketch, obviously this person is using 2 photos, 2x3. I'm going to be using one 4x6, which takes up the same amount of space. This down here should be the journaling. I don't think I'm going to have any journaling on my page. It's just a nice portrait of my granddaughter, and there will be other pages that go and talk about the day. But looking at the sketch and just kind of guessing if this is a 2x3 photo, then these squares look like they're about 1 inch square. I decided I didn't want squares. I want rectangles. So I decided on 1 inch by 1.5. And as it would happen, these stripes are 1.5 inches. Nope, they're 2. Never mind, I lied. Okay, so we'll trim those down then. 1 inch, can I get, is that right? Yeah, that's close to 2 inches, right? 11, 10, oh, okay, so it's not actually 2 inches. This looks like 1 3/4. I'll have to do a little playing around with it, but either way, what I decided to do was 1 inch by 1.5. So I'm going to cut this. I don't want to cut the whole paper because I absolutely love this paper. So I'm just going to cut some 1 inch strips. So I want to check and make sure that that's the 12 inch mark right there. So I will do 11. And I think, because I kind of planned it out with some scrap paper, oops, that was 11, I have to go to 10. I kind of planned it out with some scrap paper, and I think I only need 4 strips. So that's where I'm going to start. If I need more, I can go back and cut it. All right. There we go. Now these, I want to be 1.5 inch. So I will cut them down. I'm not going to make you watch that because this video will get very long. So hold on 1 minute and I will cut them. All right, so I'm back. I did cut all of the pieces, and I did decide not to use the purple and the, it's not really a blue, it's more of a periwinkle color. I don't think I'm going to use those because those colors don't go with all of these that I cut out. So I have a bunch of these cut out from the washi tape, and I'll see what I end up using. Yeah. So, and I also matted my photo onto the white cardstock that I had left over from cutting out those. And here's my base. So I am going to stop talking. I'm going to start laying these out. Oh, I did notice on the sketch, which I didn't account for, that on the sketch there is stitching. So I think I do want to do that. I think it'll really add to the page. So I need to update my shopping list. And fibers, what does it say? Twine, ribbon, and fibers are 10 cents each. So I'm going to add 10 cents to my total, which brings me up to $2.25. That still leaves me, I think, enough for my enamel dots. Yep, that'll just get me if I want to use the enamel dots. So I'm going to start laying those out and get an idea of where it's going, and I'll be back. So I continued to lay out the rectangles, and I continued to struggle with that T-square, trying to get things straight. I realized that a bunch of those rectangles are going to be covered by the photograph, so I decided that I would just pull them out from underneath and continue the pattern using them. That way I didn't need to cut some extras. And really with the T-square, I think I'm better off just eyeballing it half the time. So I spent a whole lot of time trying to play with these flowers and figuring out where I wanted to put them. And then I realized that down at the bottom right, I didn't like the way that that last row ended. So I pulled another piece from underneath and moved it to the end of that last row. And then I went back to struggling with the flowers again. I cut out so much of this, guys, you would not believe how long I played with those things. And I don't think they ever did end up in the same place in the end. All right, so this is the basic layout. I think this is what I am going to end up with for a title. The smile and happiness here. These hearts came off that same sentiment sheet. So I think all I have to do now is the stitching, and that I will obviously do off camera. So I will, and I don't know, I think I may use foam to pop up the photo as well as the florals. We'll see once I get the stitching done how that comes out. I finished my stitching. I used white embroidery floss. I started out with 6 strands, and that's this first row here. I'm not sure if it shows up. It was really hard for me to pull those 6 strands through the holes, and it took forever. So I switched over to 3 strands, and honestly, I don't think there's much of a difference in the look, but it made a huge difference in how easy or difficult it was to actually do the stitching. So I think I'm going to stick with the 3 strands from now on. I have my photo, and I haven't decided if I'm going to mat it again. I don't think I have enough paper. No, and it was a single-sided paper. It came from a pink paper pad, so I don't think I'll be using that. And I can't add any more paper to this, or I will go over budget. So I think right now I will just get busy with putting together the title and embellishments. I was still undecided about where to put these flowers, so I decided I would try to fussy cut one of these roses off the clusters and use it in a different spot on the page. I don't remember if it ever did end up on the page because I just kept moving things around. The cluster on the left ended up stretching out almost to the end of the title. I just kept adding and adding and adding, and yeah, that's what happened. So I think at some point here, I finally decided on the final placement, and we shall see where it ends up. Okay, I think I'm done. I have one more of these little foam sticker hearts. I think I decided I wanted it to go here. This is kind of a little, I don't know, dead space there. So I thought if I put this here, it just, I mean, it's still, that white space is still there, but it just feels better to me. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy. I'm going to put that there. If I can get it straight. Okay, so here's what I ended up with as far as my shopping list went. My background and my photos were free. My adhesive tape, 20. Foam, 25. My trimmer, 35. Scissors, 20. One piece of pattern paper at 40. One sheet of cardstock in white, because remember my background is included. That was free, and I used the one sheet of white to mat the photo and to put the washi tape on. Then the phrase sentiment sticker pack. So I have my sentiments here. I don't know if I'm supposed to count those individually, but because they're all in the same package, I'm counting them as one. And then the washi tape is 25. And then I did go back and add the stitching, so I had to add the floss in at 10. So my total then came up to $2.25. So I still managed to keep it under budget. I'm not really sure how I managed that, but it's done. And this is the second layout for this challenge. So please remember, this is a hop. The girls over at Ginger's Corner, and there'll be the information in the description box below. Please visit them all. There is a playlist. We're each going to do 3 layouts in November. So it should be interesting. I really want to see how other people manage to keep it under budget. So for now, I'm going to let you go, and thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, please give me the thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed, I would really appreciate that. I'd love to see the numbers going up on that. And don't forget to give some love to the other ladies. I think that's all I have for today. So until the next video, have a great day.